we're going to go ahead and pivot to the situational help for the week. So if you have any questions or situations or need advice on anything military, civ, supervisory, career, make sure you reach out to us via our email, which is theskifinternational@gmail.com. And the next message we could get could be from you. So let's get this public facing message out there. All right, the title, Losing Faith in the Air Force. I don't know what to do anymore. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. To be honest, lately I've been losing faith and interest in continuing my career with the Air Force. I soon will hit 5 years in the service, and I don't think I want to re-enlist or stay active duty. I just really hate my shop and the people there. Such a toxic work environment, and I'm just fed up with my peers and leadership. Is staff really worth it? Is it worth my physical and mental health? I'll be 24 soon, and my body's already breaking down from the manual labor I do in my career field. I'm in CE. All the heavy lifting and workload is just taking a toll on me. I feel like I've been chasing decorations, awards, and I've gotten absolutely nothing. It's like all my hard work means nothing, and I get it. I'm simply doing my job. The thing is, I volunteer, I'm chasing my CCAF, I'm getting in with programs at the squadron and at the wing level to make myself look better on paper, since that's what the upper leadership wants me to see. I just sometimes feel I haven't done enough or earned my way. Any advice is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for reading. So check it out. That's a rough way to hear that how anybody's career is going anywhere. So my sympathies and my empathies are with you, my man. I've definitely
Mhm.
had some personal experiences. I'm sure every last one of these folks up in here has hit a brick wall or two where they're questioning and asking these similar type questions. That's really terrible that you're having that USAF experience. But check it out. Although you say you don't want to reenlist or stay active duty, I'm sensing there's still an appetite. There's some hope there. There's a little spark of hope there. You're just lost. It sounds like you're just lost, my man. Let's see if a prior listed FGO can kind of help you out here. My biggest concern is that I feel that you're estranged from your leadership team, your supervisors, your command, all these folks. I think you're just disconnected for some reason. I know you hint at the toxic work environment, but I'm not getting exactly what's going on in that toxic work environment. What specifically is bothering you? I don't know. So I'm just gonna go off of what I kind of can figure out. Let's go with, I think you've lost your purpose and your why. When you lose your purpose and your why, no matter what you do, it feels like it's going into the ether.
Yep.
It's all over the place. You're just trying to get somebody to recognize what you're trying to do, that you're putting in effort, but it's not focused. It might not even be aligned to what your supervisor, your commander, your leadership team want. You're just trying to get that out there. And each time you send something out into the ether and there's no return, you're like, what am I doing here?
Yep.
I think you've lost your purpose and your why on a personal note. You know what the unit does, you know what the Air Force does, but you don't know your connection piece to it. It's not being sold to you either by your supervision team or yourself. You can't even sell it to yourself. So you're lost. And that's okay. I've been there too several times in the 21 years of my career. My advice to you is you got to rekindle that relationship with your supervision team. I would start there first and really sit down with that person and figure that out. If the supervisor's not hitting the target, that supervisor has a supervisor. You got to start climbing up and trying to make sure that they understand what your intents are. If you're not getting any flex there and you determine after you talk to your supervision team and leadership team that that's not your way, dude, that's okay. There's a lot of things you can do because you're concerned about your family, you're concerned about all those other things. Great. You can always find that separation path. You can go guard or reserves and find the AFSC that you really do want. You can try some. You can retrain active duty, just like Justin said. You got to try another environment. Maybe you're just that environment. Maybe you need something
Mhm.
new, right? Something fresh. Maybe that. A lot of people I've seen got out, went to college, went to Air Force ROTC, got a new career field, got a new adventure in life, became a leader of people, and became the change that they wanted to see. That was a
Yes.
big, heavy hitter. I've seen that several times. So you have those options available for you, but I would highly recommend trying to get that baseline back. Because he sounds like you want to be in. You know if you don't want to be in anymore. You're questioning it, but I know the difference between somebody who doesn't want to be in the Air Force anymore and is like, man, I'm really trying to find a reason to stay in. I need help. I think you need to tie in with your supervisors and then explore your options that way. That's what I got. Chief, what you got?
Man, whew,
Yeah.
hearing that is, I could draw so many parallels to my own career and the different trials and tribulations that I've been through. So when the night is dark and you're at your worst and you kind of you can't see the way through, you got to double down on the things that matter to you. Similar to what you
Mhm.
said. Hey man, dude, what's your purpose? What's your why? Over my career, my why changed and evolved from more self-centered to my family and my
Yep,
kids and
it
stuff like
pushes
that.
out.
It really depends on where this airman is. It sounds like, hey, I don't have any kids, but I have a significant other. And if I'm doing this for my significant other, then I'm doing something that's greater than myself. So sometimes I'm going to take on more problems and things like that to kind of ensure that this person's in the right spot, to ensure my spouse is in the right spot. So I just would love to hear more detail about the question because I kind of got several different ways I can go about it. To Stag's point, to your point, change up your environment. How do I change up my environment? What can I control? I always ask myself this question. What can I control? I cannot control people,
Right.
right? I cannot control my spouse. I cannot control my kids. I
Mhm.
cannot control any of that. I can control myself, my thoughts. And this thing, I can make it do what I want it to do. I can't let my mind control me. I control my mind. So if I have a situation that I don't necessarily like, then how am I showing up for that job? I want to own this situation to the best of my ability. This airman kind of alluded to, I'm doing all this, I'm doing all that, I'm not being recognized and all this other stuff. Well, then that begs the question, like, why are you really doing it?
Mhm.
You know, because I remember so long I was trying to make senior master sergeant, couldn't make it, couldn't get a bite at the apple. And no, real talk. So,
I know.
dude, quick story. I've tested for senior master sergeant so many times. I'm like, dude, it's just not gonna happen. Now I'm a chief now, so you know it did happen. But at the time, I was like, this ain't gonna happen, man. This ain't gonna happen. So I remember this one cat, he shall remain nameless, one of the naysayers. He was like, he
Oh
said,
man.
look, he said, damn, man, you didn't make it? I was like, no, man, I didn't make it. He was like, well, what are you going to do? And I thought to myself, and I wanted to, I had some choice words, but I was like, bro, like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to come to work tomorrow and work hard like I always do.
Right.
Like the result did not change how I interact and what I gave. My character is I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to keep working no matter what. I'm going to do the best of my ability. That's all I know. If I make fries, my fries are going to be crispy and hot every damn day. It does not matter if I get 5.15 an hour or 15.15 an hour. It does not matter
That's
because
right.
that's what I do. That's how I'm wired. I'm wired a certain kind of way.
Yes.
So my you know, my effort is not predicated on the results that somebody else might see.
Mm.
It's my name that matters. You can just see me. Like why was I working out in the gym at 3 a.m. and I'm in chief? They're like, dude, why are you doing it? You have nowhere else to go. I was like, this is me.
Right.
This is what I do. So you got to have something that is you. Own yourself, own your effort, own who you are, and then hopefully you can get to your North Star that way. That's why I got hype.
Yeah. Nat, what you got?
Man, y'all really hit most of the things that immediately came to my mind, which just, shows the programming, how it translates. Um, just piggybacking off of Chief, I was introduced to this equation. E plus R equals O, right? So you have an event plus a response equals an outcome. And the one thing that you own in this equation is your response. So whether it's X event is negative or positive, your response will always control the outcome. So that's something that I live by. I have the power within my 20 square feet, right? What I have ownership of to kind of change the dynamic. And I say that at his level, he only has so much authority and scope. But like Chief was saying, what can you do with the scope that you have? How have you brought up these concerns to your leadership, right? And when you bring the concerns to your leadership, and I encourage you to, and it's going to take some courage, because sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm this little man on the totem pole. Let me just shut up and color. No, sometimes you have to speak up because you speaking up is speaking up for someone else that didn't have the
Yeah,
courage
well,
to
yeah.
speak up. So you speak up, and when you bring those concerns, bring solutions, because you're talking to decision makers and these people want to solve your problems. So when you come and you bring courses of action and not just problems, it makes it a whole lot easier to solve. I love it how y'all talked about the why. That was the immediate thing that I thought
Yes.
about, and how our why evolves. Even my why has evolved.
Change.
Hence why I am now retiring, right? I am transitioning to what I believe is my greater purpose. So I would love to ask him, what was the original why that you joined in the first place? Relook at that. See what has changed. What got you to this place? You know, I know you talked about a lot of different things, but when did that start?
Mhm.
When did it start to change? And maybe how can we look at some ways to fix it and get you back? And if staying in is not what you want to do, that's fine too. A lot of options, but you know, he has to weigh the pros and cons, because as we talked about, there are many benefits to staying in. You know, he talks about having a family, having a wife, and potentially starting a family. And so, you know, he has to look at dealing with the civilian sector and those pros and cons, or dealing with the military and those pros and cons. And we know the different lists. But ultimately, I would say this is a question that nobody can answer but him. I'm a firm believer that you have to live on purpose. They say you never work a day in your life when you love what you do. You know, we all know this Air Force train is going to keep rolling with or
Right.
No
without you.
doubt. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so if you're
Mm-hmm.
miserable, yeah, I mean, you can continue your service in the Guard. Absolutely. And keep that. Don't give your time away. Keep your clock ticking, because it's going to matter when you get a little bit older, that you have that solid pension and that income coming in. So maybe active duty is not for you. Maybe it's the Guard, you know, but yeah. I really would love it for him to kind of sit down and just say, you know, what am I good at? What would I be doing if money wasn't an issue, right? What do I want to do? You know, what's going to bring me the greatest joy at this juncture in my life? And then ultimately, what's most beneficial for all the parties involved?
Can I just say one thing to that point? What you said, what brings you the most joy, right? So you can, from my perspective, sometimes you can pursue that joy, but sometimes it comes with sacrifice. Because I'm not
Absolutely.
doing exactly what I want to do. Because what
Right.
I want to do is be a general manager of the Saints, right? New Orleans Saints. That's what I want to
You
do.
know you, baby.
That's what brings me joy, watching my
Right.
team win and being on the field. But guess what? I can't do that. You
Yeah.
know, I got to sacrifice for the greater good, which is my family,
Yeah.
right? Because the girls in there, they don't care nothing about no New Orleans Saints. They just want to be able to go to school, have the clothes they want, all that other stuff. And it's not about my joy. My joy, you know, whatever. They don't care
Yeah.
about. They care about, hey, daddy said we can get this. Hey, here's Christmas, here's all of this. These are the things they're looking forward to. So sometimes it's a sacrifice and you can't really get into your happiness. Sometimes you just gotta say, all right, I don't want you to be miserable,
Right.
but I also want you to understand that happiness is fleeting. Happiness can change from moment to moment, day to day. So don't necessarily get caught up in this joy and this happiness. What makes ends meet? What am I good at?
Right.
What can I tolerate to get to the part that I need to get to for my family?
Yeah.
That's
And
where I'm at with it.
yeah, and I totally agree with that. I believe that, you know, even when we speak about joy, I think we find our greatest joy in service. So maybe I should have caveated with that. Not a joy where I need to be joyous, I need to be fulfilled, but joy in service.
Yeah.
Where is your service niche? What are you good at where you can serve people and feel purposeful? Maybe it's not the military, maybe it's something else, but absolutely. Yeah. And happiness is absolutely fleeting, but joy is internal, and it's
Gotcha.
always
Yeah.
there, you know, irrespective of situation and circumstance. So, you know,
100%.
I really believe that if people can tap into their niche of where they want to serve, they'll find their greatest joy and their greatest purpose. And maybe active service is not it for him. Maybe he
Right.
wants to do part-time and then find the thing that fulfills him. But I feel you. Like, yeah, the general manager, that would be dope because you could give me some tickets. Like,
I
I would
got
be
you.
up.
I
Yeah,
got you.
I'd be all
But
up
that
in
ain't it. I'm a chief in the Air Force. I ain't a general manager or nothing.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So
But
Okay.
man, that's that deep. And I've been there. Like y'all said, I've been there just with the, oh my gosh, I'm getting out. Like I went through a rough time at one point in my career where I was at a crossroads and I had 2 kids at the time and I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like it is just I am so stressed out. My anxiety is through the roof, and there were these 2 chiefs I will never forget. And I'm gonna shout them out right here. Chief Alan Kelly and Chief Joanne G. Pace. They rehabbed me at the lowest point in my career. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. Like I wouldn't have been around. And then you got to think, now I'm going. Then you got to think the people that you touch by staying and
Yeah.
enduring and the growth that happens and the resilience that comes from you pushing through this tough
impact.
time if you can.
Impact.
There's a lot of ways to look at this. So I don't want to beat the dead horse, but
By the way, I beat the dead horse that. I love that. I'm stealing this. Hey, copyright infringement happening right now. E plus R
yes,
equals O.
yes,
The
yes,
event, response, and outcome. Dude, that's gold.
yeah.
That's gold. I can't
So
even lie. That's like
I steal from Nat all the
money.
time.
You gotta go ahead
I
and put
steal
that
from
on a
Nat all the time.
coin
Yes.
in the signature block.
Yes.
Let people
It's
know because
amazing.
people don't understand that. Like, all right, I got these events happening, and your response. That's
What defines you?
all you have control of. That's it.
That's what defines
Nothing
you.
else. And the outcome can be X. It's a bunch of different things. You never will know what the outcome is, but you can always channel and change and fix your response. Control your response.
Control it. Sometimes that's a tactical pause. That means I don't need to say anything right now.
Yep. That is
I just need to pause and
that is something.
marinate.
That is
Right?
Just sit
action.
back.
Man.
Sit back.
But
Yeah.
Sit back.
my boss, he phenomenal. Doctor retired now, Colonel Tyler Morton. He introduced us to that. He brought in a Navy SEAL, this Focus 3 group, and it changed my life. I realized my response, that is what I own because that can affect my outcome and the outcome of others, depending on where you are, within the echelon.
Cool. Well, man, love that, you guys. That was really legit. So, hey, again, out there for the listeners, if you guys want Chief and Nat to go ahead and break down a situation about anything, make sure you reach out to theskipinternational@gmail.com.